big game, people. Big game. And it's time for these players to show some fight. It's time for these players to show that they want to stay in this division and they want to play for Tottenham Hotspur. And
I rinse and repeat every preview. We say the same thing.
It's got every time is the time, but this is it's just getting into a dire situation. Like
it's in that, though. It's been dire for us.
Yeah, but for this game is like, I know I said it last week against Fulham, but Fulham are not in it with us. Palace could potentially be in it with us.
Yeah, true.
So we've actually got an opportunity with the Leeds result yesterday to go up a position in the league. We have to turn up. These players just have to turn up. Enough is enough, people. Like, seriously, I've had enough of going into every game and being like, yeah, today's the day. Tomorrow will be the day. Please.
Is there any funny feelings going to this game?
Man, I've had enough of funny feelings. I've had enough of predicting results. We just have to get the job done. Like, I know the fans, I mean, we looked at the stadium and the tickets just before we came on. Oh my God, the number of spare seats at the moment. There's hundreds of seats available in every single block. I think, Newcastle was low attendance. I think this is going to be really low.
So where's your rallying cry for the fans? We need to turn up.
We need to turn up. We need to turn up.
Everyone buy a ticket.
We need to support the team. We need to support the team through this. And
they can't walk out to an empty stadium.
And I know it didn't work against Fulham, supporting the team through it. However, we just need to keep that support going for the team, and hopefully something can change. But it's just so difficult, man. It's so difficult being a Tottenham fan right now. And I get it. I get it why it's empty stadiums. Like, we've been punched and punched and punched and punched. And at some point, you're going to be punched enough and you're just not going to go back. Go back for more. So that's the situation we're in right now. But I think the team, the club, the fans are needed more than ever. The sense of togetherness is needed more than ever. And yeah, I'll probably be berating the players after the game and everything like that. But for that 90-minute period, we all need to stick together and try and just get over that finish line, try and get 3 points. We haven't got 3 points. I've forgotten what a win tastes like, man. The last team that we beat were Crystal Palace.
True.
And we're playing them again.
True. And we're playing them at home. Unbelievable stat yesterday came out about our home form, which we know we have some incredible stats, but Wolves, who are currently 20th, have now won as many home games in the last 5 days as Tottenham have since April 2025.
Yeah. Embarrassing.
That is just an incredible
And we're
stat.
talking about one of the worst Premier League teams of all time, albeit they've picked up results a lot in the last week. They've beaten Villa, beaten Liverpool, and drawn with Arsenal in the last couple of weeks.
How is that even possible? We're coming up on April. We're not far from April 26.
Yep.
And they've won as many in the last 5 days as we have in the last 11 months, 10 months.
And do you remember when me and you were doing the predictions from now until the end of the season, we said we're not going to beat Wolves, and everyone's like, "Yo, how can you say we're not going to beat Wolves? You guys have to lose it." Name me one person that thinks we're going to beat Wolves now. Nobody thinks we're going to beat Wolves now, I'll tell you that.
So if there's one day to get your home record, it's not even back on track. It's kind of just like start clawing it from the dirt. Kind of, it's like we're being buried alive at the moment. We need to start clawing our way out of it. And if there's one way to just start getting a tiny little speck of mud off us, it's tomorrow at home to Palace. And look, there is an opportunity because not only, as you say, drag Palace back into it, but they are missing key players. They're on horrific form, albeit, put it this way, Palace are on very, very bad form, but they've won as many in their last 4 games as we have in our last 19. So as bad as their form has been, doesn't even touch us at the moment, which is a sad state of affairs. But they are in bad form. That is the truth. And they are missing a lot of their first choice centre-backs. And so there is definitely opportunity to get them, exploit their bad form. They're probably also a team fairly low on confidence. Glasner, has said he's leaving. We know it's a team that struggles to play twice a week. Then this is going to be a midweek game for them. There's something wrong at the moment in that dressing room and with their motivation, and they're struggling really to put out the performances they were doing earlier in the season. Mad to think about. I think when was it, in September, October time, they were on a 20-game unbeaten run, and now they struggling to get a result. So a lot has changed at Palace, and probably they're one of the, if you look at even in the league right now, they're probably one of the teams you'd want to be playing. I would say probably them and Burnley at the moment in terms of you need a result.
Yeah.
It's probably them and Burnley. Who
I think
really
I prefer
want.
to play Palace than Burnley right now.
Potentially, yeah, because they're really struggling. So it's all set up for us to put in a big performance and get a result, but we are just so, low on everything at the moment. I just don't trust us to do it.
Yeah, neither do I. But the reality is as well, is that we need to look at Wolves, actually, funnily enough. We need to look at Wolves and take a bit of inspiration from them, because nobody saw any sort of way that they can get any points. Everyone's saying lose every week. How many losses did they have in a row? It was just crazy. Nobody envisaged this form that Wolves have had in the last week. Everyone's saying, nah, there's no chance Wolves can ever spark any sort of wins. They've beaten Liverpool and Aston Villa in the last week. They drew to Arsenal. Football is a very strange game, isn't it? You just never know what's round the corner sometimes, and what seems inevitable doesn't sometimes happen. So we just got to hope. We just got to go into every game with a bit of hope that something can change in this coming week. And I think we've done that a lot over the past month or 2 months, and nothing has changed. Hopefully this is the one that's going to be the changer.
But don't get me wrong, as soon as that game kicks off tomorrow, I'm going to be hopeful that maybe this is the game things can turn around. And to be honest, the weird thing is things don't even have to turn around tomorrow in terms of performance or whatever for us to get a result. Palace have been awful. We could shithouse a 1-0 off someone's backside, and Palace can struggle to score against us, and we might get a lucky 1-0. So even if we win tomorrow, it doesn't mean we've turned anything around. It just means we stop the rot, which is definitely possible. But I don't trust us to do it right now. They would have to prove it to me tomorrow that it can be done. I'm obviously hopeful. Every game I'm hopeful that we can. Against Arsenal, I was bloody saying we'll get a draw, you know what I mean? I'm hopeful we'll win tomorrow. And obviously, 90 minutes, anything can happen. There's nothing to say that we're definitely not going to win tomorrow. But if I'm predicting what's going to happen, I don't think we do win tomorrow now.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. If I'm predicting a result right now, I'm probably saying it's a draw or a loss.
Yeah, 0-0, 1-1.
Yesterday I said 1-1. Yesterday you said 0-0. But like I said, just as mad as it is, take some inspiration off Wolves, man. They were a down and gotten beaten team. Nobody saw any wins around the corner, and now they're on good form.
It could only take one win, and all of a sudden things can change.
All it takes is for these players to start fighting for each other, to start fighting for the team, to start fighting for their very livelihoods. You know what I mean? These guys, basically, Don Charles yesterday. He came in the studio with all the fighting talk, man. He was absolutely spot on in a lot of things that he was saying, and he gave me the inspiration, man. Everyone just needs to fight, and I hope the Spurs players were watching that yesterday, because he was saying a lot of home truths.
Absolutely, they need to fight for every ball, scrap. They need to realise that it's all. I understand that for a lot of this season, we've not been playing the football they wanted and all this kind of stuff, and they've not maybe liked the tactics, and they haven't appreciated they haven't got on board with a lot of the direction this club is going in. But the reality is, right now, the situation, the club is in a dire way. This could be catastrophic, not just for next season, but for 10 years' time, 20 years' time, for the future of this football club potentially could be at stake with this, with the club in this state that they're in, with the relegation battle that we're in. You see other teams in the bottom of the league. They fight for every ball. They don't give up. They scrap. They put in strong challenges. They don't make it easy for the opposition. They don't stand there like statues when they're passing it around. They don't just lump it long and not chase after loose balls. They run the channels. They make a bad ball from their teammate. They make it into something just by chasing down the opponent, forcing a throw, forcing a quicker pass. Spurs need to do all these little details, all these little things. Spurs need to start taking advantage of all of them. It feels like all the little percentages, every little inch we're losing at the moment. We're not getting those inches. We're losing out of those inches every single time. And we need to start gaining on those inches. And I know it's tough to do when we're in the situation we're in when it comes to injuries. We need even more from you. We need to work even harder. We need more energy, more intensity than you're even showing. But we need it. There's no other option but to give that. And that's the bottom line. And I know that Palace will give that tomorrow. As much as they're in a bad run of form, they will not make it easy for us. they will make it very, very difficult for us. So we need to get in their faces. We need to let them know that they're in for a game. We need to let them know that they're on our turf. And we need to show them who we really are. And that's the only way we can get out of the situation.
Absolutely. As Don Charles says, we need to fight for every single thing. You look at that players, you look at that lineup that's on the screen right now, man for man, they're all good players. They've all got it in them to have a good game, to fight for the cause and to get a result. But confidence is so low. It's at rock bottom right now. I don't think I ever remember seeing a Spurs team with confidence as low as it is right now. And it just takes for one little good thing to happen early in the game, and I think Spurs can ride off that wave of confidence and actually have a good game. But we need a bit of luck to go for us in the early stages of the game, and then maybe Spurs can kind of feed off that and play like it for the rest of the game. Because you got to remember as well, Crystal Palace are also low on confidence. They're also this is two teams, probably the two teams that have the lowest confidence in the league right now, and quite amazingly so. Both these teams won trophies last year. Crystal Palace were the FA Cup winners last year, Spurs the Europa League winners last year. It's actually mad to think where these two clubs are at right now. But look, this game can go any way, can't it? Like, it can go the same way that every other game has gone over the last couple of months, and Spurs will just, be defeated before we get on the pitch, and that's that. Or, these players can get shaken up in this week of training and be like, you know what? Let's just put everything beside us. Let's put everything behind us. Let's fight for the cause. Let's give it one more push. No matter what these players are thinking come the end of the season. We've got 10 games left in this season. I think 9 games left of this season now. And it's time just to everyone to come together and for fight for the team and for fight for the cause and for fight for each other. And if they have that mentality and come out like that, I think we can get something out of this game.
Yeah, but there's no reason why we can't get something out of this game, absolutely, given the state of what they're in at the moment. So, obviously there's reasons because of how bad we are, but in terms of just the 11 players we have, the situations of both clubs, we should be able to get something. And I'll obviously be keeping a keen eye tonight on the West Ham game, Forest game. Maybe it does relieve the pressure a bit if they
I won't be keeping a close eye on it, mate. I don't want anything to do with the games tonight. I really don't. I am just going to be switching off completely, and I'm going to be like, whatever happens, happens. It's too nervy, man, for me. I couldn't even watch last week, 2 weeks ago, when West Ham played Bournemouth. I couldn't even watch it. I was just like, you know what? Just tell me the result when it happens. I can't watch this stuff, man. Like, this relegation battle is just too much for me, man, I swear.
Well, I'll be watching it tonight for the both of us, apparently. I'm taking a keen eye on what's going on, and maybe it can relieve the pressure if West Ham and City and Forest both do lose, but also that obviously breeds opportunity again if they both lose for us to just get away from the relegation a bit. But if West Ham get a result tonight, obviously we could be 2 points away from relegation tomorrow.
Yeah, I booked a paddle game tonight specifically for when the game starts to when the game finishes. So yeah, I'm it's too much, man. This whole relegation battle is just too much for me.
Brennan Johnson returning tomorrow as well.
The story's written before. The story's written, man. Brennan Johnson coming back to Tottenham. He's already picked up his form a little bit in terms of goal contributions, 2 assists in his last 2 games. As much as I've given the fighting talk, the story's written, isn't it?
No, he's going to do something, isn't he? He's definitely going to score. So we might have to score 2 if he scores. You reckon he gets a good reception?
Yeah, I mean, for the fans that will be there, for the 2 of us that will be there, me, my dad and my uncle, they're the only 3 fans going to be there apparently. But we'll give him a good reception. But, it's just, I said it weeks ago, you just know he's going to come out to Johnson again, ole ole, and then he's going to dunk on us in the first few minutes of the game.
And then Palace will start singing it.
Yeah.
And then Palace will start singing Johnson again, ole ole.
For me, I think no reception before the game, no reception during the game. After the game, if it's a decent result, we give them a nice reception. That's for me.
And in terms of Palace as well, they're obviously a team low in confidence, but Strand Larsen's been all right, hasn't he, since he's gone there? A couple of goals against Burnley.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only game he really turned up in. And he looked, I guess he looked dangerous in the game before without getting a goal. But yeah, look, he's a physical striker. He's hard to handle at times. Not the greatest of quality, but he's shown that he can put the ball in the back of the net. Last season at Wolves, he had a very good second half of the season, didn't he? So on his day, he can punish you if you give him the space that he needs.
Yeah, they've obviously got even they've got a lot of talent, obviously, Palace, and I think definitely you look at their back line tomorrow, no Lacroix, which is a massive boost for us.
Yeah.
Lerma, not fit enough to start. So they're going to have probably Canvo, Richards, and maybe Klein, he said, or some more, I can't remember the other guy. So they're going to be depleted in their back line. So there is an opportunity to definitely get out of that back line, and maybe it's going to be a bit more disorganised than it usually would be, and maybe not as much strength as well than it usually would have when Lacroix and Lerma are there, because they're big physical guys, and the guys replacing maybe not as much. So there is an opportunity, but whether we're in the state to take advantage of it, or whether we're going to miss chances or even fail to create the chances because of a lack of quality, that's, I think, maybe the start of the game will determine that, I feel.
Yeah, look, as much as we're depleted in the front line, we still do have players that can cause defensive problems. You know, Solanke, Richarlison, Tell, Javi, you know, Muani cause Arsenal problems. We've got players that can cause opposition's problems.
Gallagher against his old club, by the way.
Gallagher against his old club. Like, there are players that can cause the opposition problems. I'm worried about the matchup of potential Munoz against Sousa. I think that's a potential physical mismatch. But yeah, look, I think with Lacroix out and with Guehi not being there, that makes their set-piece threat massively diminished, and Lerma's not there either. So I think we can get at them as set pieces.
I'm also definitely worried about the formation they play. Munoz stretching the game. You know, if Rishi, who's on our left-hand side for us right now, or if it's Tell, whoever's going to be there, if he ain't tracking down Munoz and leaving Sousa or whoever's playing left back, even if it is Gray, leaving them out to dry, and they have to go close down Sousa, and then all of a sudden Ismaila Sarr has space on the inside.
Yeah.
How we cope with that situation, unless Gallagher is the one tracking Sarr, on making sure he's not running on that inside channel between Van de Ven and Sousa, or does Van de Ven come over, but he's more likely to have, you know, Strand Larsen to deal with. You know, if Gallagher does track back Sarr, all of a sudden you've got Wharton and Kamada potentially in too much space if Basuma's not patrolling that, if Xavi's not tracking back. So this formation will definitely cause a lot of tactical headaches if we're not on top of things. And I think that is a decent likelihood, I think, that given, especially down that our left-hand side, looking at it now, I definitely see a big problem there, and I wouldn't be surprised if Sarr gets in lots of space, or if Munoz gets in lots of space, because of do we know who we're tracking? Do we know who's going as well? If we're going for a back four up against a back three and we're going man to man, is there clarity about whose man is who and who is taking our possession?
Because it looked like there was no clue of that on the weekend.
Yeah. The one thing I'd say, the difference between Palace and Fulham are quite fluid in how they rotate their players off the ball. So they were very clever in the sense that they knew we were going man to man, so they would manipulate where our players would be. So, you know, you would get, you know, Gray going on to Wilson, and then Wilson going all the way into the other side, knowing Gray's going to have to follow him, and just manipulate the whole situation in that way. Whereas Palace are very rigid. Like, Munoz is going to be there, Mitchell is going to be there.
Yeah.
Wharton and Kamada, they're not really going to change too much. So man-to-man should be a lot more easier to do from that sense if they plan it properly before the game. But I'm just worried about them planning it, that's the thing.
Yeah. It's a shame Romero's out for this game, because if Romero was fit, I would love to have seen Romero and Danso as the back two with Mickey at left back. I think Mickey, you know, he can physically handle Munoz at left back, and he can also hurt them going the other way. And I think that may be kind of a solution that we can use going forward after Romero because this is Romero's last game out, right? So maybe at Anfield next week, go for a Van de Ven at left back and Romero and Danso as the back two. But yeah, it's just a shame for this game, because I think specifically in this game, it really could have worked.
Definitely. Yeah, I wouldn't mind maybe bring Pauline into the back line and putting Van de Ven there. I wouldn't mind that at all. But I think also Sousa is worth just giving a look. This might be a good game to do it, but I just hope it doesn't go horribly wrong. It's difficult. I think the main thing is this team just needs something to go forward them. We need to take the lead in a game. When was the last time that happened? We just need to score the opening goal. We need to just get a little injection of confidence in this team that we can actually hurt teams, we can go at teams, and we can be brave. And if we have a good start, we do that, I think we can get a result in this game. But at the moment, I don't banking has to have a good start to the game.
Yeah, that was what was so demoralising about the Fulham game. It's just like you get up for it, the fans in full boys, 7 minutes, 1-0 down. You know what I mean? Like, we can't concede early. In fact, we have to score early in this game, I think, if we're gonna take any confidence in the game. You know, if it's 0-0 at half time, I guess I'll be happy. That's where we're at right now. We're playing Palace at home, and I'm saying 0-0 at half time. We'll be happy, and like, we've got such a good record against Palace at home. Like, I think we've beaten them every time they've come to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I think the last time we lost to them at home, was it that cup game, or was it a 1-0?
2016.
2016, or maybe a few years later we lost to them 1-0, 2018.
What, in the cup?
Nah, didn't we lose to them in the league in 2018? You're the score man. You should be able to tell
at Wembley,
me.
we don't remember losing to them at Wembley.
When's the last time we lost to Palace at home? It's got to be a while ago.
No, because Sonny always used to score against them. So.
Yeah. Let's have a look. So the last time we lost to them at home, yeah, it was the cup game.
In the 2016.
Yeah, 1-0.
Martin Kelly.
Yeah. Wow. So we've won every single game against them at home.
Oh
since.
no, last season.
Oh yeah.
Back end of last season, Eze scored twice. Yeah.
That bloody Eze, man.
Yeah. Don't talk.
I removed that game from my memory.
Those games didn't count.
That was the game that Decky got injured in.
Yep. He got his patella and he came back on. If West Ham lose tonight, would you take a draw tomorrow?
If West Ham lose tonight, will I take a draw tomorrow? I mean, no, I'm not taking a draw at Palace at home.
It's just funny that like, has to be considerate because you thought about it for like a few seconds. Like, well, no, I'm not taking a bloody draw at Palace at home. Like, surely not. But like, you were considering it. So like, part of me's like, should we? God, it's so sad.
These next 3 games in the Premier League are going to be pivotal to whether we stay up or not. They really are. Palace at home and Forest at home are our next 2 home games. We have to take a minimum of 4.
And do you think, that in terms of Igor, if he loses
If he
tomorrow,
loses this game, man, he could easily go. Especially if we lose
before his assistant even comes.
Mate, like if he loses, he's going to be the difference to everything. This assistant. If we lose this game in the manner that we lost the Fulham game in, like, we need instant results here.
Maybe we'll instill his new assistant as our interim.
I got some info.
Oh,
Not great info. Definitely not great info. But something that is going around the grapevine saying if we lose this game, then Harry and Jermaine are ready to take over.
They're ready to take over, or they will be taking over?
They're ready to take over.
Ready to take over. Of course they are. Harry and Jermaine double act.
Yeah.
Harry will probably bring him on. He'll probably start him.
Why not?
I guess.
Defoe player assistant manager.
God. Then we would get Dele and get everyone back. Why not? Just what's Pav up to these days? What's Pablo? Darren Bent, get him off TalkSport. Get him up front.
Darren Bent, he'll probably send us down.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Yeah, I don't think that... Look, then again, I'll say I don't think that's a possibility, but it probably is. It probably is. I don't think if we lose tomorrow, he'll be sacked. I do think if we don't win any of the next 3 games, and if as well, on top of that, we lose to Atletico, even if we beat Atletico, if we don't win any of the next 3, I can't see... I think there's a high possibility they sack him. High possibility, I would say. I'll put it over like 50% that they sack him if we don't win any of the next 3. Tomorrow, if it's a bad beat, I'd put it at like a good 25% they'll sack him tomorrow if we lose.
If we get battered, I don't think we'll get battered, but if we lose like in the same manner against Fulham, I genuinely would not be surprised. I don't know if it'll come, but I just would not be surprised if it comes tomorrow night.
God, imagine 3-game Tudor.
Like these guys have gone from the guys that want to stick by every manager to just firing a manager after 3 games.
Can't get a win, get him out of here. Sling your hook.
But it's true. Like we need wins now.
That's what he's coming to get an instant impact. If he can't do it, I'm not saying it's the right thing. It's just what's the point?
Yeah.
Like
we can't let the situation get to as bad as like we're at the last game of the season where we can still go down. Like we can't let it get to that.
No, we can't. When you know how many times you had a game of football where you should have won but you didn't, and you can't allow that to have happened in just one game. You can't allow one game to ride your future.
We need just a few quick fire wins, and tomorrow is one of the ones from now to the end of the season when you're looking at our fixtures. Right, this is the most winnable game from now to the end of the season. This and the Nottingham Forest game, and they're in our next 3 games. So we have to pick up these points if we're not going to let ourselves in that situation. We have to. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night, people. We will see what happens tomorrow night, but it's going to be a nervy night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I tell you that. I'll be there in the stadium. Sim with you on the watch along with Himothy once again. Himothy has done 1 watch along against Man City and we didn't lose. So let's hope the omens are good for that one. And came back from 2-0 down that day as well. So tune in for that. 7:45 8 going live. Pump up before then with the pump up king and queen.
Is it 8:15 tomorrow?
No, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Yeah. So Kate and Jimbo will be taking you through the. Well, it's not even called a pump up anymore. It's called pre-match therapy.
Pre-match therapy.
Tomorrow, an hour and a half before kickoff. Then the watch long, 7:45, and then the post-match fan show. It was your chance to have your say. So come and tune in and have a word with Sim about the 3 points that we've just had.
Vin in the comments says, "Don't worry, tomorrow Ben will say he has a funny feeling."
I probably will, to be fair. I kind of have to at this point.
It's part of the brand.
Yeah.
Get it on a t-shirt.
Yeah, who would buy a funny feeling t-shirt?
It's got a funny feeling.
Oh, God. So depressing, this football club, man. But anyway, we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Like, subscribe.